About a year ago, a good e-reader did a review on the Heart of Metal 2 pen. And they basically took this video about the Heart of Metal 2 and decided that they were just going to turn it into a rant or a hit piece on Supernote and Rada as a company. They started out the discussion of a pen, mind you, with saying that Supernote had been on the decline since 2020. Now, how can you do a video in 2020 about how good a device is and say it was immediately on the decline? Now, maybe that's just me, but that seems a little crazy. They talked about that this is a very heavy pen. It is, and I believe that actually could be a fair criticism. But then they say there's nothing innovative about the pen. Well, you said this was the most innovative and best piece of stationery on the market. The other pens haven't changed. They all use either palm nibs or plastic nibs or felt nibs, and they use the same Wacom technology. And now all of a sudden, in 2019, the ceramic tip, or 2019, 2020, the ceramic tip was super innovative and super cool, and now it's nothing different. And they do point out, rightly so, that it can only be used on a Supernote device. And again, I think that's a fair critique. But I also think if you're buying a Supernote device, you want the best writing feel and the best experience you can get on a Supernote device. You aren't going to go out and just purchase a pen that isn't designed to make the best use of that device. At least that's my opinion of it. They say they actually went backwards with the ceramic nib. Now, mind you, this is the same ceramic nib they've always had. And they say that it's disappointing that this is the only release that Supernote has offered. And I just find that really interesting. They also say that they're reusing their same box, which I think is kind of an unfair criticism. Number one, I would guess this was sent out as part of the review, so they probably weren't as worried, Rada, and maybe I'm wrong, with putting it in a specific container because they were trying to go ahead and get this, out to the testers to have them take a look at it. Another thing was they said Heart of Metal 2 was the same as everyone else, but limiting. So it's using the same Wacom technology, which it is, but it's limiting because you can only use it on that device. But is that really a problem? I don't think so, because you could buy something that would protect the screen on another device. Here's where they also come back to saying that they're on the decline and that they're outmanned and outgunned by the competition. They can't play ball with the big boys. And they say one thing that's really interesting. They say, now remember, this is a pin review, and now we're getting into they're criticizing the devices. And that's where I think we really need to take this to task. They say there's no Bluetooth on the device. That's factually inaccurate. It was inaccurate then, it's inaccurate in the newer versions. And I don't understand why they're going down that path, why they take this video and then they attack the company and the platform in a pin review. What they actually have to say about the pen, the build quality, the beauty of it, the elegance of it, they treat that fairly well, except for talking about the ceramic nib being an abomination, according to them. And that's my words, not theirs, for what they said. But why? I don't understand. So, again, at the end, they say, let us know in the comments what you think. Well, people were kind of outraged with this review. I took them to task back then. Matter of fact, before I even started the channel. And Voya took them to task, and they immediately started deleting and disabling comments so that they didn't have to hear it. Well, don't ask for an opinion if you don't want to hear it. I mean, I would delete something in my feed if I felt it violated community standards, but if someone wants to disagree with me, more power to you. I hope you do. And if I'm wrong about something, please tell me because I think it's important that we get 6 months ago, they release another. Now, mind you, at this point in time, the A62 is on the market. So the Nomad is on the market. People are reviewing it. I'm reviewing it. Boy is reviewing it. Kit's reviewing it. Everybody's reviewing this device, and it's getting rave reviews. Brandon Boswell's reviewing it, and I kid you not, in this video, they say that Supernote does not excel at software. This is a pen video. Again, a pen video. And they say it doesn't excel at software. They say it has no audio capabilities. Again, it's a pen, but they're talking now about the device. And so they start by saying it has no audio, which is factually untrue. Now, what they could say is it has no speakers, and that is true. The Supernote platform does not have speakers. It does not have a microphone. But what it does have is Bluetooth capability. And I wished I had for this video a Bluetooth speaker, but I don't actually own that. Instead, I have my earbuds. And so I just wanted to double check myself earlier today. And I paired it with Bluetooth, which I don't use as often, but I have used it before. So I made sure I paired it. I opened up Libby, which is a side-loaded app that I have, and I played an audiobook. And lo and behold, clarity was just fine, came through my Galaxy Buds absolutely fine. So that's a factually untrue statement. But anyway, remember, pen review. So now we're back to the pen. And they say that they do excel at digital stationery. But then right after they say that, they say, quote, you don't buy a Supernote for the device because it can't do anything. You buy it for the pens. That's end quote. Now, finally, after doing all of that, they say that it's an amazing clickable pen. So they've gone through, they've trashed the company, they've said all of these things, and they say it's ergonomically shaped. They then immediately flip and say that they shot themselves in the foot because it has a ceramic nib. So it's a wonderful pen, it's lightweight, this them talking, it's clickable, and one of the few companies that do it, but they shot themselves in the foot because they use a ceramic nib. Mind you, you don't have to replace the nib. Then they say, well, they don't really have market share, and they don't even have a Supernote on hand at this point, not an older model, nothing. And so they test out the pen on a books device while continually throughout the video reminding you that you shouldn't use this pen on any other device because Supernote recommends you don't because it may scratch your screen. They want to be upfront and transparent with that. And they say they don't have a Supernote on hand because they've been lacking in the races. We don't really cover them anymore. So they're admitting that they won't even review the devices. They didn't keep the device. I don't know if they purchased it or if it was a review unit. I know that Supernote's been really good about letting reviewers keep their devices, but you would think they would have something, either the A5X or A6X. And then they will get on this high horse and they say, if we don't tell you the truth, you'll never trust us. Well, okay, but are you telling us the truth? First of all, this is a pen review and you're blasting a company. And then they end with this quote, objectively, the best pens in the e-note industry. Make up my mind as someone watching this video and these video series over whether this is the best pen or the worst pen, whether this is good or whether this is bad. In your opinion, you can't say things are objectively true because we are all giving our opinions. Admit that. Be upfront with it. If you said that you didn't like this pen because it's junk, I respect that. If you said this is a decent pen, but it could be better, I respect that. But to say on one side they're shooting themselves in the foot because it has a ceramic nib, but then say objectively it's the best pens in the industry seems a little disingenuous to me.